Get ready with me for bed while we debrief about my travel day from hell. Now, just to set the scene, I went to North Carolina to visit my sister, and it was my first time flying completely by myself, so I was already completely scared. The flight there really wasn't that bad at all, but the flight home, I got to the airport at 7 a.m. because my flight was at like 9:30 or something like that. We took off, so we boarded around like 8:45. So I got there at 7 a.m. And before I even got to the airport, when we were in the car, my flight got delayed by a half hour. A half hour is not that big of a deal though. So I was like, just keep taking me there. It'll be fine. I'll just wait around for another half hour. When I was in line at security, it got delayed another half hour. And then by the time I got out of security, I was another half hour behind. So this is 3 times now that my flight got delayed. So at this point, I'm like, what do I do? Do I just keep waiting around? Like, I'm gonna be here for hours. So I called my mom and I was like, what do I do? As one does. So she got on her computer and she found me another flight that was headed to Philly, and I think they boarded around like 10:30 or something like that. So I went over to the gate that it was supposed to be at. I guess this is empty. But by the time I got to the gate, I realized that the like TV that they put up there said that it was going to the Grand Canyon. So I was like, obviously this isn't the right gate. So my mom was like, go up and ask the like workers who work at the desk if the gate got changed and like where the gate is for this flight. So I walked up and I explained the whole thing. And I was like, can somebody just tell me where the gate is for this flight? And I gave them the flight number. And this woman turns around and is like, you're just gonna have to Google it. And I was like, I did. It's telling me this gate, but it's clearly not. So can you just tell me what gate it's at? And she was like, refresh it then. And I was like, I did. It says this gate. It's clearly not this gate. And she was like, I just don't know what to tell you. You're just gonna have to Google it. And I was like, okay. So there was a man that was standing next to her, like a worker. And he was like, did you try customer service? And I was like, no, where is that? So then I headed over to customer service. He looked up the flight. It was a full flight. So he was like, I can put you on for standby. And I was like, that's fine. Just do that. So he did that. And he was like, I'm just going to warn you, the standby list is 2 pages long or something like that. So I was like, okay, I mean, it's probably going to be a long shot, but let's just do it anyways. So I went over to that gate. And then by the time I sat down, I realized that my flight got delayed again. So this is 4 times now. And I looked between that flight of when it was boarding, like my original flight, and the flight that I got put on standby for, and they were only boarding like 20 minutes apart. So I was like, I actually have a seat on my original flight, whereas for this one, it's so up in the air as to if I get on or not, so why wouldn't I just go back to my original flight? So that's what I did, and while I sat there, it got delayed 2 more times. So at this point, I wasn't boarding my flight until like 12:30 when I was originally supposed to be well home by then. So I went back to the flight that I was on standby for, and I was like, we're just gonna try this one. As I was standing in line for